Hey guys, welcome back to Wacky Engineering, and today is the second video going over RSLogix 500. Today we are going to be going over how to install the programming software and the communication software for free from Rockwell Automation. We're going to go over the necessary equipment that you'll need. You can do it without all the equipment, but having all of it will make it a lot better to learn. And the last thing we'll go over today is actually setting up the communication driver and connecting to the PLC for the first time. So we will jump in here and we will go get the software first. So we want to go to Rockwell Automation. You need to set up an account. It is free to set up. Just an email and password. So once you make your profile on Rockwell Automation and get logged in, you click on the Rockwell Software tab. We want to go up to Support, Compatibility and Downloads. And then we're going to click on Downloads by Product. And we'll type in 1763. That's the model number of the Micrologix 1100. And we're going to click on version 10. So the reason that we're typing in this exact product number and this exact version is this is the only one that they allow you to download the free version of the software from. I don't have an exact reason of why that is. So we'll scroll down here to RSLogix Micro Starter Lite without RSLinx. And we'll go ahead and download that. Accept and download. We'll click down here and open up the folder or the download manager, and then it should download into a folder. Should be under your C drive, and the folder is RA, Rockwell Automation. So we got the Micrologix in there. RSLogix Micro, which is the free version of RSLogix 500. Something to keep in mind, a lot of the stuff that we're going to be going over in this tutorial will translate over to RSLogix 500 and RSLogix 5. This specific software only works with these two PLCs, but a lot of the programming methods and the software itself looks basically exactly the same. So pretty much everything will transfer over. We also want to look up RSLinx. And we're just going to take the RSLinx Classic Lite, the free one, and we can just click the newest version of that. We'll download now. Once again, this is the communication software. This is what you will use to set up a communications with the PLC and your computer that you're using. And once again, we are using Windows 10 in this video. So we'll click down here and do the download manager again for the RSLinx now. So while this is downloading, we're going to go back to this folder and we're going to go ahead and do the setup on the RSLogix. Click yes here. Okay, we can start the install wizard. Accept. Next. Next, we'll do the complete installation. Click install. These are the release notes. So we'll go and click finish. So we should be good with the RSLogix. So now we'll go into RSLinx Classic, and we'll double click the application here, and we'll extract it. Okay, so now we'll go into this folder, and we should be able to just hit the double click on the setup here. Click yes. And hit install now. Accept all. So some of the hardware that I believe would be necessary to follow along these tutorials in the best way possible would be to get yourself either a Micrologix 1000 or a Micrologix 1100. I would recommend the 120 volt AC versions of those. That way you don't have to buy a separate 24 volt DC power supply. I would recommend this programming cable, which we will put a link in the description. If your PC is old enough and has a serial port on the back of it, you might be able to get by with a cheaper cable. We will also put a link in the description of that programming cable, but this one goes from RS-232 to USB, so this one works out pretty nice. It is more expensive though. So if you do have the correct port for just the regular serial connection, then I would recommend the cheaper one. You could still follow along these videos and download the software and learn how to program in the software, but being able to download to the PLC and being able to run through some of these exercises will help in learning it. So in front of us here we have a trainer that I was able to find locally in my area off of Facebook Marketplace. I picked this up for 60 bucks. If you don't know the price of PLCs, they can be a little bit pricey, so that was a very good deal. And we'll be utilizing this trainer in a lot of these videos to help walk you through some of the programming principles and then some of the hardware. So we have a bunch of switches here and a bunch of lights here that we'll be able to program and do different things with and show a lot of different things. So you don't have to have a trainer like this if you can just get the PLC and a communication cable and maybe one light switch and one light bulb. We can walk you through how to wire up the light switch and light bulb, and you'll be able to follow along just fine with something like that. If you can get one of these trainers, that's definitely a bonus, but you don't have to have it. Okay, we have just finished downloading and installing RSLinx Classic Lite and RSLogix Micro. So we are going to plug in our programming cable real quick, and then we will open up the software. So something to keep in mind with that programming cable is it does have to be put in a specific orientation, so don't just shove it in there and bend the pins over. So we will first open up RSLinx Classic. And what we're going to do in here is we're going to click on the Communications tab, and we're going to click on Configure Drivers. So the driver we're going to want to pick for this Micrologix 1000 is going to be an RS232 DF1 devices. So we're going to click on that, and we're going to click Add New. So you can leave this is just the name for the driver. You can leave it default, you can name it whatever you want. It's not going to affect how it runs, so we'll just leave it default. So something you'll want to do now is you're going to want to see which COM port that USB communication cable is plugged into. So we'll go to Device Manager, and we'll click on Ports, and it looks like it is on COM 3. So we'll switch this to COM 3. Everything else here, baud rate, so all that looks good. You'll just want to leave it like that, and you want to hit Auto Configure. Okay, so we had an auto configuration successful, so that's good. Something else to consider here, if you can't get your USB communication cable to work, usually that comes with a device driver disk. In this case, I was able to plug it in and it installed the drivers on its own. But if that doesn't work, you can install them manually via that DVD disc that it comes with. So far I've talked about two different drivers in this video. The first one being the RSLinx driver that we set up for communication between that software and the PLC. And the other one I'm referring to is the device driver for the programming cable. And I'm talking about the Windows driver that Windows needs to know how to control that cable, how to work with that cable. So that would be this one right here, the USB serial CH340. If you have issues with getting this cable to work, you may have to install this one manually using the provided DVD. So we have installed that driver. Here's the driver, and when you click on the plus key, we can now see we're actually online with that PLC now. So that kind of wraps up what we were going to go over in this video. We went over how to get the programming software and the communication software and how to download it and install it. And we went over some of the equipment that you'll want to be able to follow along in these videos. And we also showed how to set up the driver for the communication software and connect to the PLC for the first time. So, like always, if you thought this video was interesting, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.